Not all paths are straight. Some twist deep into the unknown. Hey, I'm Amanda Joy, and every Thursday, a new episode of Down the Crooked Path beckons. Paranormal stories, strange encounters, and folklore that lingers long after dark. So take a deep breath, grab your flashlight, or let the mysteries guide your steps. Down the Crooked Path, available wherever you listen to podcasts.
Canadian Creepies is recorded on the traditional lands of the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe peoples, under the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. These lands and waters have been cared for since long before Canada existed, and they remain deeply important to Indigenous communities today. As we tell stories about darkness, injustice, and memory, I want to acknowledge the very real histories of colonization, violence, and erasure that Indigenous peoples continue to endure. A land acknowledgement can't undo that harm, but it is a reminder to keep listening, learning, and supporting in truth and reconciliation in meaningful ways. We share these stories not to forget, but to shine light, always with respect for peoples and nations whose land we live on. Canadian Creepies covers true crime, dark history, and disturbing events. Some episodes may include graphic descriptions or sensitive subject matter. We do our best to handle every story with care and respect for those affected. That said, we sometimes use humor and sarcasm as a way to process heavy content, never to disrespect victims, survivors, or their families. Listener discretion is advised.
It's Edmonton, 2012. A man walks into a dark alley, unaware his fate has already been sealed. The silence is broken by gunfire. His killers are marked with swastikas and white power tattoos, symbols of hate worn like armor, warnings carved into skin. This wasn't just another gang hit. It was the calling card of one of Canada's most violent criminal networks.
Welcome back, creeps. We are in season 2 of Canadian Creepies. I'm Valerie.
And I'm Amanda. And we're so excited to be back with you for another season of chilling stories, dark mysteries, and Canadian true crime.
How you doing?
You know, I'm here.
And I'm here, so that's good. We do have to correct. I did correct it in the episode, but I have to make an official correction here. Mm-hmm. In the Justin Evans episode, last episode, we said it... because the mobile home park is called the Muskoka Mobile Home Park. I just assumed it was a Muskoka, and I did part of it, did part of the research on that. It's not. It's in Simcoe County, and the name of the trailer park is just the Muskoka Mobile Home Park. Mm-hmm.
Our bad. My bad.
Oops. Oopsie. And I'm happy to issue corrections anytime. Is there anything you want to talk about?
Happy fall solstice.
Hey, there we go.
It won't be fall solstice when the people are listening, but it is when we're recording.
Time of recording.
Yeah.
Yep. And apparently this day of recording, it's the rapture.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I saw this Indigenous creator, and he was like, when it's the...
Again.
No, and he said, when it's the rapture, but it said, when it's the rapture, but you get land back. Oh. And then he said, a win's a win.
That's genius.
Yeah, it was really funny. It was really funny. That was good. Fair. I loved it. Okay, should we get into it?
Sure.
This week, we're stepping into a different kind of story, one that I've classified as organized crime. It's a case that blurs the line between ideology and brutality, showing how hate can fuel violence on the streets.
Tonight's story, or today's story, whenever you're listening, it's not about a single victim, but it's about a violent gang that blended outlaw biker culture, meth-fueled drug trafficking, and neo-Nazi ideology. They called themselves the White Boy Posse.
Boo, what a lame fucking name.
Right?
We're the White Boy Posse.
It's my posse. Yeah. We're boys, not men.
WBP could also be easily mistaken for WAP, which stands for wet ass pussy.
Wop, wop, wop. But yes, their bloody trail left families shattered and communities living in fear.
We're going to trace how the gang formed, the crimes that put them on the map, and the brutal murders that exposed just how dangerous they had become. We'll also dig into how ideology and organized crime collided in this group and what their legacy reveals about extremism in Canada.
And at the end of the episode, we will circle back with our Creep of the Week segment.
Sorry, it's not Creep of the Week, it's Current Case. That's my bad, I forgot to adjust that. We're going to do a Current Case because we haven't done one yet this season.
Fair.
And it puts a nice bow on this episode too. So that's my bad. Sorry, I forgot to change that. Please continue.
So yeah, well, stick around for that.
Yeah. Let's get creepy. Should I go first again?
Sure.
All right.
I dig it. It's been dug.
So here are the origins of the White Boy Posse.
I can't say it without giggling. It just sounds so childish.
We're the White Boy Posse.
Like, for such a violent
bunch of
gang,
white boys. Yeah, for such a
right? You couldn't have come up with something
a little bit more threatening,
right?
I mean, I guess to see them is a little bit scary, though. I guess. Bah. Whatever. So the White Boy Posse formed in Edmonton in 2003, and it was part of a broader surge in gang activity in Alberta during the early 2000s. What happened in the early 2000s to make all the white boys in Alberta go bananas? Limp Bizkit.
We're blaming Limp Bizkit for neo-Nazi culture.
Not entirely.
Just partially.
Not entirely. I think that's what gave them, the gumption. It's all about the Hughes, whatever. Okay. And police initially saw them as a street-level drug outfit with neo-Nazi branding and ties to their biker culture. As one Edmonton police source put it, the WBP was linked to Nazi symbols, street-level drug dealing, and affiliations with the Hells Angels. The first headlines came about in 2004, and their name published... I get ahead of myself.
I do the same thing. It's all good.
Their name surfaced publicly in 2004 after clashes with the Crazy Dragon Killers. See, now that's a scary gang name.
Right?
The Crazy Dragon Killers. You're threatened by people who can kill dragons.
Right? Fire-breathing dragons.
Terrifying.
The ideology, you know? It sounds like a Quentin Tarantino movie as well.
The Crazy Dragon Killers.
Yeah.
At that time, reports described White Boy Posse members as ramming cars of rival dial-a-dopers.
Dial-a-dopers.
Yeah. Of course.
It was
dial-a-dopers, that makes sense.
Insta-drugs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or skip the drugs.
Oh, okay.
Skip the dishes for drugs.
Gotcha. Okay. So the White Boy Posse members would ram cars of dial-a-dopers. Gotcha. They didn't like them.
Yeah.
Because they were rivals. And that was a reckless, violent tactic that put them on the map as more than just a corner crew. Okay, corner crew being... I'm just kidding. We're not going to get it.
Watch The Wire. You'll figure it out.
Yes, that's right. Researchers noted that the WBP combined ideology with the lure of fast money. Gang scholar Mark Totten explained, they're not just into white supremacy, they're into making money. That duality, racist identity, and criminal profit gave them both cohesion and draw. Wow. By 2006, 2008, the group had grown enough to warrant Project Goliath, a joint Edmonton Police Service and RCMP initiative. After major arrests and drug seizures, the RCMP declared they had crippled the White Boy Posse, but the gang reconstituted quickly, showing it had grown well beyond neighborhood-level street crime.
Damn.
Right? Those boys could organize, I guess.
They formed a posse.
They did. They did form a posse. Even in its early years, law enforcement intelligence indicated the WBP's reach extended outside Edmonton. Tentacles reached from Yellowknife to Saskatoon to Medicine Hat. That scope reflected how a small Edmonton street crew had plugged into broader drug and biker adjacent networks. Woo! That's intense.
That's a lot of work in a very minimal time.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, that's only like 4 years. 3-4 years. 2003, yeah. So here is their recruitment style, who they drew in and how they did it. So this is how they grew so quickly to affect like so many people or to draw in so many young men. Disenfranchised youth were a big part of the WBP. They capitalized on young men who felt alienated, economically unstable, or cut off from mainstream society. Edmonton in the early 2000s was seeing spikes in meth use and a shifting job market, especially for working class youth. The gang offered a ready-made identity, brotherhood, money, and a sense of belonging. Joining meant you weren't just a kid on the margins, you were suddenly part of something feared. Oof, that's scary ideology. They also recruited in prison networks. Like many organized crime groups, the WBP expanded through incarceration. County jails and provincial prisons became recruiting grounds and reinforcement points. Inside, the gang provided protection and solidarity to members and new inmates who shared either racial ideology or desperation were pulled into the sorry. Sometimes I just say my sentences too fast. And new inmates who shared either racial ideology. Oh, my screen isn't touchscreen and I just somehow lost everything. Sorry. New inmates who shared either racial ideology or desperation were pulled into the fold. That's how that sentence should have been read. This prison to street pipeline hardened the gang's structure and loyalty.
You know what? That makes sense, though, because like when you think of how scary prison is, it's all cliques.
Yeah.
It's all cliques and organizations. If you do not have a clique, you are in danger. And then you have a sense of loyalty to these people because they protected you from getting your ass beat by a different clique.
Yeah. And then you have to, in turn,
owe favors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also in their recruitment style, there were biker overlaps. So from its earliest days, the WBP rubbed shoulders with biker organizations. They weren't a puppet club, but they benefited from proximity to the Hells Angels and their affiliates. This overlap gave them access to drug supply lines, especially meth and cocaine, and lent them legitimacy in the outlaw underworld. Tattoos, patches, and the blending of biker culture with street style reinforced that image. Ooh, they're creepy looking. Because they also, the WBP didn't recruit only on ideology. Money and power were equally strong motivators. But the white supremacist symbols and slogans acted as filters and magnets. Potential recruits who were already in the skinhead scene or who felt drawn to violent racism found the gang to be a home.
That's creepy.
Wild. Even those who weren't hardcore ideologues often adopted the look. Shaved heads, swastikas, white power slogans, because it both bonded them to the group and intimidated outsiders.
I mean, yeah, if I saw a guy walking down the street with a giant swastika tattooed on his shoulder,
I'd cross the street.
I'd be like,
see you later.
Maybe don't go into this store.
I want nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
The WBP's reputation for brutality, car ramming rival dealers, high-profile murders, which we'll get into later, brazen displays of hate tattoos became a perverse recruitment tool. For young men on the edges, that notoriety was a draw. It promised power, fear, and instant recognition. That is so dangerous.
Yeah.
Nobody should just like want power because they can have it. You know? You shouldn't. And if you do, go to counseling. Please go to counseling.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Great responsibility.
Spider-Man said it best.
That's right. Or wasn't that Uncle?
Yeah, it was Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben. I was going to say Uncle Al. What made the WBP unique is how they blended three worlds. The outlaw biker aesthetic, the neo-Nazi subculture, and the street-level drug hustling. A recruit didn't need to fit perfectly into one category. If you were tough, useful, and willing to prove yourself, you could be brought in and shaped into that hybrid identity.
Have you ever seen the movie Green Room?
No.
It's a horror movie about these kids. They're kind of in like punk rock metal culture. They're a band. Mm-hmm. And one of their gigs gets shut down. So this guy who's interviewing them was like, hey, I know a place that you can go play. And it is a neo-Nazi biker gang bar.
Oh, Lord.
And shit goes south.
Sounds like it.
Bad.
It's okay to punch Nazis.
Yeah, they do more than punch Nazis.
That's great.
But like they get held captive because they've seen too much. It has Sir Patrick Stewart in it.
Wow.
He plays a skinhead Nazi.
Oh my God.
He's the leader. It's a great Alton Yitch, the rest in peace. Alton Yitch is in it. So it's yeah.
Green Room?
Green Room.
Green Room.
I think it's from like 2015.
Ooh, that's not even that long ago.
Yeah. John and I watched it a couple of months ago, and it's exactly like what they're describing. And they were scary people.
Yeah.
At least that's how the film depicted it. Maybe this is what it's based off of.
Maybe.
I'm going to have to research that.
Yeah. Or listeners, let us know as well. Members of the White Boy Posse often wore their ideology on their skin. Swastikas, SS lightning bolts, 1488, and crude white power slogans were common. These tattoos were both personal identifiers and public warnings, meant to strike fear, declare loyalty, and show that violence wasn't just a choice, but an identity. Investigators and journalists noted that when WBP members were arrested or killed, their bodies often bore white supremacist tattoos that told their story before they said a word. And for many recruits, getting inked was a rite of passage, a visible marker of being in. Ugh, I hate that. So permanent. I mean, I have so many tattoos, and I have dumb tattoos, but none of them are racist.
I have two that are extremely faded behind my ears.
I have two that are extremely racist.
I mean, it's a lavender sprig behind my
Oh, that's cute. Oh, I've seen that behind your ear. Beyond tattoos, the gang's branding extended into clothing, graffiti, and hand signs. They're like a little show troupe. They're like a little show troupe. They're wearing their costumes. They're learning their choreography.
You have a little tree
making
in
their
the backyard.
props. Oh, it's so cute.
You knock on the door. What's the secret handshake?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like.
We're the boy posse.
Yeah, I'm here for the White Boy Posse meeting. Nazi symbols were dabbed on walls or worn on jackets. Sometimes they would scrawl WP, White Power, or WBP alongside swastikas to mark territory. These weren't subtle choices. The iconography was designed to intimidate rivals, terrify communities, and reinforce an us versus them worldview. The posse didn't have formal, elaborate ceremonies like some outlaw clubs, but initiation often involved proving loyalty through violence. Like most gangs are like that. New members might be tasked with assaults, drug robberies, or enforcing debts. The Nazi inspiration came in the form of ritualized dehumanization. Beating a rival or targeting someone who didn't belong wasn't just business. It was framed as ideology in action. Oh, that's awful. These people are just going about their days being targeted.
Yeah, just random.
Yeah.
That's what makes it scary.
Yeah.
You haven't done anything to incite it.
Yeah. These rituals blurred the line between criminal hazing and extremist theater, making violence both practical to expand drug markets and symbolic to demonstrate racial supremacy. Their branding fused outlaw biker cues, leather patches, skull imagery with neo-Nazi visuals, iron crosses, and swastikas. And this hybrid look gave the impression of a biker gang crossed with a hate group, signaling both criminal credibility and ideological menace. Yeah, that is. Both of those are that. Branding wasn't just for outsiders. It bound members together. The shared tattoos, slogans, and violent rituals created a subculture of belonging, one where members could look at each other's scars and ink and see proof of loyalty. As one gang researcher put it, these marks were uniforms of identity in a war they believed themselves to be fighting. It's like, no, we're all just trying to get our kids to school and
right
and
carpooling,
work, pay the bills. No one's very small amount of people are doing that.
Yeah. Thank goodness.
Jeez Louise. The Nazi branding also attracted media coverage. When homicides linked to the WBP made headlines, reports often highlighted the swastikas and white power tattoos of the accused. This visibility turned the branding into a feedback loop. The more the media spotlighted it, the more recruits saw it as notorious and powerful. Oof, so it did the opposite of what they wanted.
Yeah. Creepy.
So creepy. So Nazi branding as a criminal business tool. They used fear as currency. The White Boy Posse used Nazi symbols to create an aura of menace. A swastika on the face or knuckles didn't scream ideology. It broadcasted unpredictability and violence.
Like on your face.
On your face, yeah. Just straight up a swastika on your face. Discouraging rivals from encroaching and intimidating debtors to paying up. In Edmonton's crowded gang landscape, branding gave them a fast track to recognition. Where other crews had to prove toughness through years of violence, the posse's open use of hate iconography made them stand out immediately. The swastika and the 1488 weren't just symbolic. I think I go in it later, but do you know what 1488 is?
Yes.
I knew you
would.
I knew you would.
The 14, I'm not sure what exactly the words are, but it references 14 words from Hitler's Mein Kampf book.
Oh, okay.
There's a passage that they're referencing.
Oh, okay.
And then 88, the eighth letter in the alphabet is H. So it's like a kind of shortcut or like secret code for Hail Hitler.
Ugh, I hate it. I hate it. So those tattoos were shorthand for we're more violent than you. We don't care if the cops are watching. We're willing to go further. And that reputation alone extended their influence beyond their numbers. For skinhead youth and disenfranchised white men, the imagery was an instant hook. Joining meant instant belonging in a group and not only allowed hate, but it celebrated it as its strength. For others, it was less about belief and more about the fear the symbols generated. In other words, which gave them power. Bikers trade in intimidation as much as in drugs, and by mirroring the outlaw patch culture with hate insignia, the WBP made itself legible to biker groups as a gang willing to do the dirty work and handle business with brutality. Hey, why don't you do the next section? I've been reading for so long.
Yes, I know this is like...
I've been reading for so long. I can't even read words anymore. You. Yeah, you. Still haunting the same old fast fashion? Time to dig up something better with Back from the Dead Goods, a Canadian small business where forgotten threads get a second life and sustainability meets spooky. This isn't just upcycled clothing. It's resurrected fashion with an eerie edge. Handpicked, reworked, and revived, every piece is as unique as a ghost story whispered at midnight. And because you're a part of the Canadian Creepies family, you get an exclusive deal. Use code Canadian Creepies at checkout for 10% off. Find them lurking on Instagram, Etsy, and Poshmark. Links are in the episode description. Give your wardrobe a second chance at life, if you dare. Hey creeps, it's Valerie here. And if you're anything like us, you love capturing a moment, whether it's spooky, sweet, or somewhere delightfully in between. Let me introduce you to our go-to for stunning shots, darkroom photography, based right here in the heart of the Niagara region. Mel, the brilliant eye behind the lens, is a lifestyle and creative photographer who brings a little bit of magic and maybe a touch of mystery to every session. She's got all her prices listed right on her website, super transparent, no tricks. And she runs killer seasonal specials around Mother's Day, Halloween, Christmas, and more. I'm telling you, her Halloween sessions, creepy perfection. So, if you're in the Niagara area and looking to capture memories that are hauntingly beautiful, hit up Mel at mel@darkroomphotography.ca or check out her work at www.darkroomphotography.ca. That's Darkroom Photography, where your memories come to life, even in the dark. Looking for your next obsession? The Creators Collective Podcasts is your gateway to the dark, the chilling, and the downright fascinating. We're a community of independent podcasts with one goal: to share the best in true crime, paranormal tales, folklore, and unexplained mysteries. Whether you crave cold cases that won't stay closed, haunted histories that refuse to be forgotten, or stories that make you sleep with the lights on, there's a show waiting for you in the collective. And when you join us, you're not just listening to one podcast. You're stepping into a world of creators who love this stuff as much as you do. Check out the Creators Collective today. Follow the link in our show notes to discover your next favorite podcast. We'll be waiting for you. Let's take a moment during this break to talk about something that matters. Something that doesn't get to be background noise. The Anishinaabe-Moan word, Niki Nagana, means we are all related, and we are. But relationship isn't just about words, it's about responsibility. Canadian author Naomi Klein once said, "It is not enough to say that we live on Indigenous land. We have to act as if we do." And one way to do that is by supporting Pay Your Rent, a grassroots mutual aid initiative that offers direct material support to Indigenous organizers across this land. It's not charity, it's rent. For those of us who aren't Indigenous to this place, it's a way to show up differently, to redistribute some of what's been taken. The Pay Your Rent Fund started as a one-time request for help in 2018 and grew into a nonprofit called Niki Nagana. Your monthly or one-time donation can help provide food, hygiene supplies, housing support, and resources for Indigenous-led resistance and community care. So if you've ever said, "We're all related," ask yourself, are you being a good relative? Visit PayYourRent.ca and find out more about how you can be part of something better. Now, back to this case. Okay, sorry, this part's long.
Yeah. So the early leadership and structure was founded in generally 2003 to 2008. The posse didn't have like a single godfather figure like traditional mafia or bikers, but rather a small founding nucleus of white supreme racist leaning street hustlers. Leadership roles were fluid. Whoever had supply lines and the capability of violence or capacity of violence at the time gained prominence. This was often reinforced by who could survive prison time and come out with credibility intact.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Whoever had the supply lines, the capacity for violence at the time gained prominence. This was often reinforced by who could survive. I'm just reading it out loud so I understand the sentence.
Yeah. So it's like if you were willing to go to like prison.
So when you got out of prison, you had your credibility, you got a position of power.
Or even like just from, I'm going to reference the TV show The Wire again because it really is a realistic portrayal of like, it's more drug related than
right
white racist neo-Nazi gang culture.
Yes.
But it was like they'd be hot for like a murder or something and it would be like, hey, are you willing to go down for this? We'll take care of your family. So I think that might play into it as well if you're willing to do time for like take heat off of us type of thing. I think that might tie into it as well.
That tracks.
Don't quote me on that.
I don't know.
I'm just guessing.
I have no involvement with any gangs.
Rainbow Girl Posse.
We're the Rainbow Girl Posse. We're the Rainbow Sparkle Girl Posse.
Sailor Moon.
Yeah, we go around spreading love. Sparkles.
In the name of the moon, we will
fight you.
Yes. There was a core leadership, though, that was called shot callers, direct drug supplies, and authorized violent actions. They directed drug supply and authorized violent actions. Usually these were older members with connections to meth labs or biker pipelines.
Oh, that's good. They're good when they've got a connection to a meth lab.
Key factors.
Yeah.
Important.
That's
important. Right. There were also enforcers. These were typically tattooed, visibly racist foot soldiers tasked with debt collection, assaults, and murders. These were the faces that most people associated with WBP. There were associates, lower-level recruits, often disenfranchised youth or new members from prison. These individuals had to prove themselves through the violent and risky jobs. So, hitmen for hire, basically.
Yeah.
Or
beat this person up and get their money.
Yeah, drug mules. And then there were allies and hanger-oners, which were like friends, girlfriends, non-member associates who facilitated logistics, moved drugs, or provided safe houses. So they were kind of the groupies.
Yeah.
There were patches and identifiers for members. So though not a formalized motorcycle club, members often wore homemade patches, clothing, or tattoos that mixed biker aesthetics with Nazi insignias. This branding reinforced the group's loyalty and mirrored outlaw clubs, signaling their aspirations to be more than just a street gang. The biker affiliations, while not officially absorbed, the WBP maintained working relationships with the Hells Angels associates. The bikers provided access to wholesale drugs such as meth and cocaine, while the posse provided manpower and enforcement. The police were constantly plagued with this overlap, describing the WBP as Hell's Angels linked in investigations.
Wow.
There was skinhead overlap as well. Beyond the biker tiers, the posse also pulled in recruiting from Edmonton's small but entrenched neo-Nazi skinhead scene. This crossover reinforced their ideology veneer and gave them a pool of ready-made violent recruits. They were kind of smart about it.
Yeah, but being a skinhead is so 2000s. It's so passe. What do you mean you're a skinhead? Is that a joke?
Let your hair grow. Let the breeze flow through your hair.
Called. They want their ideology back. You can get a wig, you know. If you that's fine.
Yeah.
The wig game is strong these days.
Yeah.
It's very strong. You don't have to be that way if you don't want to be that way. You don't if you are balding, you don't have to join a neo-Nazi skinhead scene. You can get a wig.
Didn't Cardi just talk about her wigs in court?
Yeah. Didn't she wear a different one every day?
And he was like, the great lawyer was like, your hair was blonde one day and now it's brunette today. And she's like, wigs.
Yeah.
Wigs.
Yeah.
He's like, what does that have to do with your... Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked.
Men don't know how to talk to women.
This is why they shouldn't be skinheads and just let their hair flow.
Get a wig.
It's very History X of them.
Yeah.
There was flexibility in flexible violent structures as well.
Oh, on top of being racist, we have a flexible violent structure.
You can commit crimes on weekends, weekdays, or evenings.
Do you work? That's fine. Commit crime on paid time.
In between picking up the kids from school and dropping off the dogs at grooming session. I don't know where I was going with that, but
yeah. You can find time. Yellow racial slur out the window.
We're laughing because it's so ridiculous of a concept to us.
Yes, there is a disclaimer before every episode as well.
I always feel like Bailey Saring because she's always like, I'm giggling because it's so awkward.
Yeah, right. It's like, what do you mean? The White Boy Posse. You thought that was the toughest name? I still can't.
Right.
I still can't.
It just sounds so like playground.
Yeah. We're the White Boy Posse. We get the slide. You get the monkey bars.
You have ground from this tree to the next tree, and then we get the sand pit.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Unlike traditional gangs, the WBP's structure was adaptable and opportunistic.
So there was no structure to it. They were just like whoever. It was a mad dash to. It was like everybody was always plotting to be in control.
Like, how were you organized?
I don't know, intimidation.
How did you get away with it? Yeah,
they got all the lower levels to do stuff.
It was a mix of outlaw culture, hate ideology, and meth profits that made them volatile.
Oh, that's what made them volatile. Mm-hmm. That's what. Okay.
But it also allowed them to expand quickly, and there was no rigid system preventing ambitious members from rising. So why did the White Boy Posse thrive? That's what I'm saying.
Why? Doesn't seem like they should be able to.
There was a rising meth trade in the prairies. In the early 2000s, crystal meth surged across Alberta and Saskatchewan. It was cheap to produce, addictive, and easy to move in both cities and small towns. Police described meth as the fuel behind much of the gang violence of the period. The White Boy Posse quickly latched onto meth as their economic backbone, supplying rural communities and small urban centers that had been largely ignored by bigger, more established gangs. I get it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
There was rural disenfranchisement. The prairies were facing shifting economies, farms were consolidating, resource jobs were fluctuating, and there was limited opportunities for young people. This created a pool of disenfranchised, mostly white youth who felt left behind. For some, the WBP... I said that right? Yeah.
Yes.
WBP.
Unfortunately, you did, yes.
Such a joke.
No.
Provided belonging, money, and an identity. For others, meth addiction made them easy to exploit as runners, lookouts, and enforcers.
Yeah, you can really exploit people in active addiction.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
The gang's racist branding resonated in these communities because it framed poverty and alienation as someone else's fault, outsiders, immigrants, or others.
And just quickly for anyone in the back, any problems happening in your life are not the fault of an immigrant, a refugee, or somebody on welfare. Thank you.
Do you know how many times I have seen recently in like the comment section of TikTok where people are like, it's all the immigrants Carney let in? I'm like, he's been in office for 3 fucking months. What do you mean?
Not that we like Carney.
What are all the immigrants he's let in?
God. Nothing is the fault of an immigrant. Thank you. Blame your government. If you're mad, write your government. Write to your government. Oh, am I boring you? I'm just kidding.
Thank God. Ooh, sorry.
I've always wanted to make that joke.
There was also the biker criminal culture that helped them succeed. By the 2000s, the Hells Angels had strong presence across Western Canada. Their affiliates dominated the cocaine trade, and they were expanding into meth distribution. The White Boy Posse grew in this shadow, adapting biker-style intimidation while positioning themselves as useful partners for the supply and enforcement. Their outlaw aesthetics, such as the leather jackets, patches, and skulls, weren't just fashion. It was a deliberate attempt to mimic the biker gang authority while fusing it with the neo-Nazi spectacle.
Ugh. That's a fusion nobody needed.
I didn't ask for it. Did you ask for it?
Nope.
Listeners, did you ask for it?
I don't think they did.
No, I don't think they did either.
No.
Edmonton served as the hub but the WBP's strength laid in reaching into rural towns and northern communities. Smaller police detachments weren't equipped to handle gangs that used swastikas like calling cards, and they operated like outlaw biker clubs. This gave the club room to expand, terrorize, and entrench itself.
Yeah.
So essentially, it was a perfect storm. Put together, the meth trade, rural despair, and outlaw biker influence created the perfect environment for a gang like the White Boy Posse. How can you call it a gang? It's a
It's like a
posse.
Yeah, it's a posse.
It gets me every time. They weren't the biggest, but they were among the most visibly violent, which gave them the reputation far larger than their numbers.
Yeah.
Creepy.
That is creepy. You know, I'm thinking this might be a 2-parter.
I was looking at the script and I was like, this is quite deep.
Yeah,
There's a lot to cover here.
There's a lot to cover. It's probably going to be a 2-parter. I'll do the next part.
Sure.
We've switched how we would do it, but that's okay. So this is how neo-Nazi ideology gave the White Boy Posse identity, cohesion, and the fear factor. So for many members, neo-Nazi ideology filled a void. The swastikas, white power slogans, and racial slurs weren't just graffiti or tattoos. They were markers of belonging in a group that promised power to people who otherwise felt powerless, which I think as humans we can all identify with.
Yeah.
Especially in this economy and in this time of information and knowing everything. I think we can all appreciate feeling powerless. What we have to remember is to not take that out on someone else.
Yeah.
A vulnerable class of people.
Therapy,
yeah. In a landscape of shifting rural economies and meth-fueled chaos, ideology gave the WBP a ready-made identity. You weren't just a dealer, you were a soldier in a self-styled racial war. You guys were the only ones fighting that war. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess, and the people of color, unbeknownst to them. You know?
just going to pick up their laundry, their dry cleaning, and
yeah. Fuck. Hate provided glue where money alone couldn't. Many gangs fracture over disputes about leadership, profits, or turf. But for the White Boy Posse, the ideological layer reinforced loyalty. Members believed, or at least acted as if they believed, they were fighting for something bigger than themselves.
Yeah, it really is that desire to belong and fit in.
Yes, and we can all become a volunteer in your community.
Right.
That's a great... And I guess to them, they were volunteering, maybe.
Go walk a dog at the Humane Society.
They would love that. Dogs love that. Mm-hmm. Go read a book to an old blind person. you know? Tattoos and symbols became visible bonds. You could spot another WBP member by the swastika by the swastika ink or the 1488 scrawled on skin. Ritualized violence against outsiders reinforced group identity. A debt collection wasn't just business. It could be framed as punishing someone lesser. Oh, because if you borrowed money off, I get it. Mm-hmm. The Nazi branding multiplied their intimidation power. For rivals, seeing WBP members roll up with swastikas on their faces was a signal. These men weren't just dangerous, they were unpredictable and ideologically charged. Yeah, you can't,
Cross the street.
Yeah, cross the street. Police in Edmonton describes them as a group who embraced fear as a weapon. And the symbols alone amplified their street reputation. A swastika could silence witnesses, terrify rivals, and make small-town communities feel as though they were being targeted by something bigger than a local crew. Yeah, that would be terrifying for a small community. Yeah, you wouldn't speak up to the police. Yeah, your neighbors just straight up have swastikas tattooed on them, and what can you do?
Spray painted on their front door.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Oh,
welcome.
There's a Hail Hitler flag. That's
love that.
Comforting.
Wonderful. For families and victims, the ideological layer added another dimension of terror. This wasn't random violence, but violence dressed up as a cause. Ugh.
Go walk a dog at the Humane
That's
Society.
Also a cause. While not every member was a true believer, the gang understood that ideology was useful. It gave them a brand that set them apart from other meth crews, a shield of fear that made people less likely to testify or resist, and a recruitment tool that brought in youth already dabbling in racist subcultures. I remember when we're young, our frontal lobes aren't fully developed. Mm-hmm. So we're easily impressionable, the royal we. At their core, the WBP were about money and power, but by draping themselves in neo-Nazi symbols, they made their criminal work more effective. Hate was both a personal identity and a business strategy, weaponized to give them cohesion inside the gang and fear outside of it. And the law enforcement view was that this was one of the most dangerous criminalizations in Western Canada. After a series of violent killings in 2012 linked to the White Boy Posse, which we will get into, the RCMP publicly labeled the gang one of the most dangerous criminal organizations in Western Canada. This was significant because unlike outlaw biker clubs or larger mafia-linked groups, the WBP was relatively small. The designation showed how their brutality, unpredictability, and ideological edge amplified their threat far beyond their numbers. Why they earned that label? Well, as we've discussed, sheer violence. The posse was involved in multiple homicides, often brazen, public, and executed with chilling disregard for witnesses. And wait till you hear about this murder spree. Just wait till you hear about it, because
it's weird and bad.
It's weird and bad. It's weird and bad and nonsensical. Their swastika tattoos and white supremacist slogans meant that every violent act carried added psychological weight. It wasn't just a crime, it was a hate-fueled crime. It was framed as a hate-fueled crime. From Edmonton outward, police intelligence traced WBP activity across northern Alberta, Saskatchewan, and into remote communities. Their presence in both urban and rural spaces made them harder to contain. And by inserting themselves into meth and cocaine pipelines, often working along Hell's Angels associates, they secured access to high-value criminal economies. So they really just like weaseled their way in.
Yeah.
Just like a white boy. Just weaseling their ways in places where they don't belong.
I swear you're my only girl.
Yeah.
It's
You're
just
the
you.
only one.
I'm only talking to you.
Fuck. Being branded publicly as one of the most dangerous elevated the White Boy Posse's notoriety in the media and on the street. Blech. For recruits, this label made the gang seem bigger and more feared than it truly was. For communities, it reinforced the sense that they weren't just dealing with a local crew, but a criminal force with national attention. And despite the RCMP's description, the WBP never had the numbers of a Hells Angels chapter or a major mafia family. Their danger lay in how they used ideology to magnify fear. Swastikas, Nazi slogans, and spectacle killings turned a mid-sized drug gang into a terrifying public menace.
Weird and bad.
Weird and bad. Canada has a history of white supremacist groups, though.
Fun.
Yes. One was called the Heritage Front in the 1990s. There were also the Aryan Nations outposts, and later groups like Aryan Guard in Calgary in the 2000s.
I have heard of the Aryan Guard.
Ugh. These organizations often focused on rallies, propaganda, and recruitment. They were political in tone, even if they flirted with violence. Their goal was visibility and ideology, not necessarily drug markets or organized crime. Their goal was visibility and ideology. Okay, so they just wanted to be seen.
Yeah. Listen to me.
What a cry for attention. Just go to therapy. The White Boy Posse marked a different trajectory. They took the imagery and ideology of earlier hate groups and fused it directly with profit-driven organized crime. Instead of leafleting or protesting, they weaponized ideology as a business model. Hate became part of their marketing, intimidation, and cohesion. I hate it. And where the Heritage Front and Aryan Guard aimed to recruit and radicalize, the WBP recruited to enforce and profit. Where earlier groups sought to influence politics, the WBP's focus was meth distribution, extortion, and violence.
How noble.
They represented an evolution of white supremacist organizing in Canada, away from the semi-political groups and toward hybrid gangs that blurred the line between ideology and organized crime. Hate groups of the 1990s terrified communities with rallies and rhetoric. The White Boy Posse terrified them with murders, drug violence, and swastika-clad enforcers at the door. Well, yeah.
That's a stark difference.
Yep. This escalation made them a qualitatively more dangerous entity. And police often drew these connections implicitly. They described the WBP as not just into white supremacy, they're into making money, underscoring that ideology was a means, not an end. Compared to earlier groups, the posse was the logical and violent next step in Canada's far-right landscape. Fuck, eh? I hate that.
Go volunteer at a soup kitchen.
Do something.
Go feed the homeless.
Do anything other than that.
Are you that bored?
That's how bored they are. Yeah. Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. Okay, I think we should do some of this bit.
Getting into the
crimes.
Yeah.
Leave them on a cliffhanger.
Okay. We'll go to end there.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Okay.
But we're going to leave you guys, as I said, on a cliffhanger.
Because this goes deep.
This goes deep. I was very thorough with this.
Yes. Yes.
I was angry.
You can tell the ones that make Val very passionate. Speaking of angry, wait till we do the Butterbox babies. It's going to enrage. Just thinking about it makes me very mad.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about the murders.
Yes. Let's talk about the crimes and murders of the White Boy Posse.
There was the contract killing of Lori, Lori, right?
Yep.
Lori Santos. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is why you're here. In 2012 in Saskatoon. The victim, Lori Ann, was a 34-year-old mother of 4.
Oh, what a queen.
She was home on the morning of September 12th, 2012. She was preparing to drive.
I just got a shiver.
Right?
She's here with us right now.
She's like, tell my story.
And I'm like, I am, Lori.
She was preparing to drive her children to school when a gunman opened fire on her house. Like, what the fuck?
Okay.
Your kids are home.
What the hell?
Your
Just
children.
Regular old morning, trying to get your kids to school, making lunches. Ugh.
But there was a mistake. The shooters were White Boy Posse members carrying out a contract killing, but they had the wrong address.
I hate that.
They
had the wrong fucking address.
Right? The intended target had recently moved.
Oh.
And Lori was just an innocent woman with no connection to the gang and was gunned down in her own doorway.
That's so horrifically tragic. I'm sorry to the Santos family and her children. That's awful. And fuck you to the White Boy Posse.
Fucking gay name.
Die by your own gun.
Stupid name.
Nobody clip that. Thank you. Don't clip that. But I'll leave it in.
The case shocked Saskatoon and drew nation headlines. It showed how WBP's violence, once rooted in turf and drug disputes, had now escalated into reckless contract killings.
And done incorrectly.
Right? You didn't do your job right.
You had one job.
You had one job.
Get her right. Get the
job.
correct person. I would assume they were probably also going after a man.
Yeah. How do you make that mistake? Single, well, didn't
They're probably
say she was
high.
single,
They're
but
probably high.
On meth.
On meth. It's the meth.
You did not do your research right there, White Boy Posses.
I didn't. I thought you were saying that to me. I was like, where?
No. This is beyond thorough. I like this. I like this. So the randomness of Lori's murder terrified communities, I guess, across the prairies. If a mother in her own home could be killed in a botched hit, then no one was safe.
No one.
There was also the murder of Brian Gower.
Gower. I would say Gower. Gower.
Also in 2012. He was 35 years old and found dead in an Edmonton alley again in September of 2012. Just weeks after Lori's killing, he was described as having ties to the drug scene, but was not a major player. I wonder if he was the original intended victim.
Yes, maybe he was.
Because it's the same time frame.
Yeah.
The WBP members were linked to his murder and believed to be tied to internal disputes and drug enforcement. He was shot multiple times execution style. Yeah. I think one time execution style is enough. That seems a bit excessive.
Sorry, I hit the pen.
His killing reinforced...
You know.
Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. His killing reinforced the posse's reputation for brutality within Edmonton's drug trade. Unlike the Santos case, this was in-house gangland violence, sending a message to rivals and associates alike. Betray or failure could mean death.
Ugh.
There were other high-profiling killings and violence. There was a 2012 spree. That fall, the police connected the WBP to at least three murders in 6 weeks as part of a wave of violence that put them squarely in the crosshairs of law enforcement. I mean, if you are botching crimes, I guess the police would be looking at you.
Yes.
That would draw their attention.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah.
The WBP members were known to leave victims beaten, shot, or stabbed in public places. Executions that doubled as terror tactics, ensuring word of their ruthlessness would spread. There were territorial disputes as well. Reports tied the gangs to armed assaults, drive-bys, and stabbings across North Alberta and Saskatchewan, often linked to meth distribution. These crimes weren't just of passion, but they were calculated shows of dominance. And the victims were often linked beyond the underworld. Most of the targets were connected to drugs or rival crews, but in cases like Lori's, it underscored how unpredictable and reckless the WBP violence could be. This was unpredictable. This unpredictability is what led the RCMP to stress the dangers that they posed to the public at large.
Yeah.
This cemented their reputation. By late 2012, the White Boy Posse was no longer just a street crew. Their involvement in high-profile murders, particularly contract killings of an innocent mother, made them synonymous with fear across Western Canada.
I'd say.
I guess so. The law enforcement prioritized dismantling the group, leading to a wave of arrests, but the damage in the community's sense of safety was lasting.
And
shit.
Yeah. And we're going to leave it there for today. Mm-hmm. We're not going to do a Creepy of the Week or a current case, because the current case I'm going to do next week puts a nice bow on it.
It wraps it all up like a nice
wraps it all up nicely. And I'm kind of glad we're taking a couple weeks to do this one, because
it's heavy.
It's heavy. There's a lot to it. And they did a lot, and they're garbage.
Trash. Dumpster fires.
Yeah, they should have called themselves the White Trash Boys. WTB. We'll just say see you next time.
Yeah. We'll creep you later.
We'll creep you later.
We'll creep you later.
We'll creep you now, or we'll creep you on the other side.
Yeah. Also, be sure to check us out on Instagram, TikTok, all that cool stuff.
So on Instagram, Canadian Creepies. On TikTok, Radio Valerie. Twitch, Radio Valerie. Instagram, Down the Crooked Path. TikTok, Down the Crooked Path. Amanda has her own episodes that come out on Tuesdays
Tuesday
with
segments
us.
with Canadian Creepies, and Thursdays.
So same days that this. She has 3 episodes a week. You can hear her. She's all over the place.
I have the gift of gab.
The gift of the gab, and we love it.
From my mom.
Yeah, I get it from my mom.
Thanks, Beth.
And make sure you send us your hometown horrors. Nominate your creeps of the week. You can send those to CanadianCreepiesPodcast@gmail.com, or you can DM me. I read everything you send, and so does Amanda. Thank you. We'll see you next week, or you'll hear us next week, rather.